Good morning. Good morning and good morning. It's a little chilly for me, so I have on my stuff today. I have on everything possible. I'm thinking, it's too cold. But anyway, I'm trying to get better. I'm the heated person. I love the heat. The hotter it is, the better I am. I can deal with the heat. But good morning. How was your last couple of days? What did you do? What'd you do that was fun? What'd you do? Did you take some rest after Thanksgiving from last week and company or traveling? Did you rest? Um, no, I didn't. It was my daughter's birthday yesterday, and we spent the day together having a good time. We went to lunch at a favorite place that she likes, and that was fun. We had a good time, and I gave her a lot of Wicked stuff because we like Wizard of Oz and all that kind of stuff. So we're kind of young at heart, she and I, and so we enjoyed the day. But she had on her crown and all that kind of stuff. But it's over. She'll put it back for storage for later on. But yeah, we had a good day. So today we're going to talk about giving. Of course, this is this season, and every year I do this. So don't say, well, she's done that word before. I know I have. But I like to be mindful, not just to you, but for myself, of being a giver to sometimes excess. Sometimes we do that. We give, and then more people need, and we give again. If you were to name off some of the places that you've given to this year, beyond the church, okay, if you're a tither and you do your 10%, that's wonderful. But if you belong to other charitable organizations or you give to them, that's giving. That's a part of that whole thing. And I remember one time my tax man, he's gone now and he's gone on to glory, but he always used to tell me, he said, why do you give so much? Well, to me, I think if I've been fortunate enough to get, I will share a little bit. I'll share as much as I can. And I'm always mindful of that it could have been me. It could be me without shoes, without clothes, without food, without a roof over my head, without a car to drive or a place to go to work and be warm. I feel for me, it's good. But then there's other things that could be considered excess. And excess is when you spend too much time, money, uh, giving of gifts, that you somehow lose yourself in the process. And sometimes you also realize that it is not reciprocal. It doesn't come back. Uh, and we have to accept that. We have to accept that some people are receivers, they are not givers. But if you're on the giving side, understand the importance of it, but don't let yourself be kind of looped into it where um, you've given too much of yourself and everything else. So anyway, I have a poem here. It's written by Frank Sonnenberg online. Whoever would. Thank you, Frank. And I like this because it's called the gift of giving. He's not saying that it's bad. He's saying that you have to be mindful. So it says, give out of love, not obligation. How many of us do that? Give when it's least expected. Give without strings attached. Is that not good? No strings attached. That's why when people say they want to borrow money, if I have it and I'm able to do it, I'm going to give it to them because I don't want the burden. They already were burdened with not having it. I don't want them to be burdened. And I have a couple of people in my past who I gave money to under that original, idea that I will give. And they said, I'll give it back. And then it didn't come back. And I have to be okay with that, you know. And because they never came back to me, they never found out that it was really okay, that they didn't pay it back. They don't know that. They don't know it. maybe if they see this, they will. Because you can speak, you can still say hello, all those kinds of things. But the burden shouldn't be that you gave it and they're struggling to pay it back. If they were struggling to ask for it, the struggle may be worse to even pay you back if they're behind in everything else. It says give, give without strings attached, give from the heart, give of yourself, give to show that you care, give help without causing helplessness, meaning don't have people that are so dependent on you that even though they can do, they won't do. So be careful on how you give. Okay. Give something that takes personal sacrifice, meaning, I can do this. I can afford to do this. Okay. Give to make a difference. If somebody hasn't had anything to eat, the difference is that you're supplying something to eat, that's a good thing. It says, give for no reason at all. Just because you want to. You don't have to. You just want to. And when we want to do something, we can just do it. No strings attached. Nothing. No strings. It says, give a little if you can't give a lot. If somebody, because there's a man not far from my house on the corner, and he sometimes it says, hey, can you give me something? Now I have to tell you a little story. I went to one of these the veteran stand down to help out and volunteer 2 months ago. Well, no, actually, it's beginning of last month, beginning of November. It was. No, it might have been October, whatever. But anyway, I went to help. And I said, oh, my goodness, you all have so much stuff. What are you going to do with it? And so they said, well, you can pack up some and take it to people that you see in your neighborhood. And so I said, oh, that's a wonderful idea. So I packed up a huge bag. And I know this guy is pretty well connected, but he stands out every single day. I can see him if I leave my house and it's 6:30 in the morning. I can see him up to like 5 or 6 at night. So he's probably out there a good 12 hours. So anyway, I was so excited. So I actually came back that day during the day to see if I could find him. And I did. And I said, hey, I have a bag for you. I said, I'm so excited. You can share it with other people. I know you'll really enjoy it. Da, 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 da. It was everything from socks to sanitizers to soaps. And it was socks and shirts. It was some of everything. The bag was heavy. It was a wonderful gift that the ladies of our church decided that we were going to do this outreach. And so I said, well, I had some from them, and then I had some from the stand down, from the veteran stand down. He took the bag. He said, well, thanks. Okay, so you heard the comment. Thanks. Not thank you. I'm so appreciative. He said, but listen, do you have, $10, $15 you can give me? So sometimes we have to realize that no matter what we do, it's not enough, because people still expect you to give beyond what they've received. And therefore, that's when you have to put some stop on it. Okay. Hey, wait a minute now. That's okay. I'm not going to give more than what either I have allowed myself to give or what I feel is reasonable to give. Which is what this poem is all about. And it says, give a little if you can't give a lot. So therefore, if you know you can't give a lot, don't give a lot. And if people are expecting more of you of than what you've given them, that's when a talk comes up. I need you, and I said this to him, I need you to be appreciative for what I gave you. Okay, if I don't have money, in fact, I gave you money yesterday is what I told him. He said, yeah, I know, but I thought you might be able to give me something more today. No, you're not my employee. No, I can't. Also, it says, give without attracting attention to yourself. I waited till, there were no cars around. I pulled over to the side, summoned him over. It was just he and I. So, I didn't need an audience. I just needed him to want what I could give, and hoping that he was appreciative after I left. It says, give without being asked. I was asked for more than what I gave. And it says, give of your experience and give to those who need it the most. Let's face it. we can see a lot of need in the world at this time. We can see a lot of it. But we also, in the seeing of this need, we do not allow ourselves to be seen as the ones who will constantly give to those who will not maybe do some things. Um, and I know that some people have drug addictions, alcohol addictions, poor family conditions, whatever. I understand it. Don't get me wrong. I do. Um, but sometimes there's also people. I had a client one time told me he just chose not to work. He said he's watched his family do it. He wasn't interested. He said it cost too much time, didn't bond enough, didn't live his life. And I'm saying, then this is living your life. It's a matter of what they want versus what you might say. Good morning, Adelia. Talking about giving today. This is that time. This is my annual time where I have to come back to the basics. So good morning, sweetheart. But anyway, I also have another poem the first poem was called The Gift of Giving. And I love the first line, give out of love and not obligation, and give when it's least expected. Those are the opening lines of that poem. And I found it on the internet. And that one's by Frank Sonnenberg online. So I guess you can find his other information that he has, other poems. And the second poem I have is called The Joy of Giving. And this is by John Greenleaf Whittier. And it says, somehow, not only for Christmas, but all long year through, the joy that you give to others is the joy that comes back to you. And the more you spend in blessing the poor and the lonely and the sad, the more the heart's possessing returns make you glad. And that's what I feel. I feel when I've been able to do something for somebody, I'm happy. In fact, that it says it has a tendency to really make the endorphins in the body go wild. We get happy when we're able to make someone else happy. So let's do that. Let's not really worry about making sure that we've given, and we've kept, little or nothing to have them work for. Have them work, a little bit for something, and understand that if they can't do it and you can step in, but don't step all the way in. That's what I'm saying. Step in, give something. Don't give everything. Give something. So our word today obviously is give. And how many of you have already started the idea of what you're going to give for this holiday season, either prior to the Christmas itself or Hanukkah or any of the other days, Kwanzaa, whatever? What are your plans? Did you set a budget? Did you look at your list? Is it a tight list? Is it a wide list? Are you giving to everybody? And I think that's what my opening thing is that, do we give to excess? Some of us do. We give to excess. We just have certain things that we want to do, and we may set money aside, and the idea that this person, that person need things, and we give. So we have to ask ourselves those questions. So give, it says, freely transfer the possession of something to someone. Hand it over, present it with, provide with, supply with, furnish with, give, hand, offer, award, grant, turn over, leave, slip, and lend. All of those words, those synonyms all mean the same thing, is that when we give it. And sometimes it's freely, and sometimes it has a card on it without us saying so that people can come back. Do we know our limitations? Do we know when we need to say, okay, I've really given enough, I don't have anymore, or say no? I think I did that word one time, saying no. And saying no is tough, especially if you are a giving heart, an open heart, a kind heart. Saying no becomes very, very difficult. So when I break the word down, I look at, it says yes to already on board with your giving for the season. Yes, that's right. That's right. I already am. I already did certain things, but I can say that I'm just about done. And I bought things to give that if I see somebody who needs something, I'm gonna make sure they have it that within reason. Now, if it's big things, maybe not. Okay, I'll be honest. My daughter needed a car, and she got the car. She got a car, so it's a used car. It's not a new car, and of course, I had a couple of my girlfriends saying, "But you don't want her to be out there, and in the car that she has goes down, and she's stranded." And true. So I did my motherly duty, but that is her birthday, her Christmas, her next year's Easter parade gift. It's to next year this time. So she knows that. So she said, "Oh, thanks, Mom. I won't bother you. You didn't bother me for that. But guess what? Your list is very short. Very short. She has some cute little things, but nothing major." So the gift is the first letter. My G is the first letter of give, and I have gift. It says things giving willingly. You give it willingly to somebody without payment. It's a present. It's a donation. It's an offering. It's a handout. And a lot of times we have a tendency to not realize that we've committed by giving certain things. Like my aunt, I had an aunt, she's gone on to glory, but she used to send me this, it was like a can of cookies a month. I didn't need the cookies, but I love the cookies. Grateful. Ooh, that's so good. Grateful. That's what we want to see. We are grateful that we can do it. We want to see grateful on the other side that they appreciate it. Thank you so much, Ardelia. Grateful is good. So anyway, she would always send these cookies a month, but to me, that was a gift that kept on giving. It kept on because she wanted us to have cookies every month, and so next year she was saying, she said she didn't call me Sandy, she called me Sandra. Sandra, what would you like? And I said, can I not have any cookies? So you can buy me anything else, but no cookies. And so she said, okay. So that's how we got rid of that. But she came back to me and asked me what I wanted. Otherwise, I wouldn't have rejected or certainly said anything negative to her about the gift. It was a gift. And sometimes we have to realize that gifts are things that are bestowed, they're alms, they're presentations, they're awards, because sometimes we even get things in the form of a reward. Sometimes it's a favor. We've done something for somebody, they just do something back to us or for us. It's a bonus. It could be a premium to what it is that we already did. It's an inheritance. And sometimes we can inherit things from people. And it's a grant, it's a tip, a major tip, especially like, you buying something really big. It could be a gratuity. Like, how many of you tip your wait staff, the wait staff where you go eat? I really know that is a difficult job to do. People that you're serving are difficult. So I always make sure that I give them a reasonable percentage of my bill, of my receipt. And the interesting thing is that, I don't know if you've noticed, but they moved from it being the standard of 15% to 18%. Have you looked? Have you paid attention? It's 18% now, 18%. And then they go up to 20% and 25%. Well, food has gotten to be so high. It used to be you could have lunch for two under, $15. Now lunch for two is probably more like $35. Am I telling the truth? Yes, I am. So there you go. But anyway, when we move on in our word of give, my I of give is for intend. What do you intend to do with your gift giving? Good morning, Maurice. How are you, sweetie? Good to see you in the space. Today our word is give. And so far we started off with gift. That was mine. And grateful came from Ardelia. So we're looking around that we're now on the I of give, and I have intend. What do you intend to do? You need a course of action. I don't believe anybody should be gift giving to just anybody. It's just money. It's too much. Identity. Come on now. Because sometimes identity could be tricky, because sometimes identity is placed with, oh, she can afford it, oh, he can afford it, no big deal. Am I telling the truth? Yes, I am. So that's a good one. Identity is good. Identity is real good. My eyes are acting up. As soon as takes me about 3 hours to get my eyes together after I get up from sleep. But anyway, so I have intend, identity is one. So it says identity is as having one's plan of action, having a purpose and an objection. It says meaning having every intention of doing the right thing and not the wrong. It says having plans, looking to what's been aspired to be done, be resolved, meaning that it's not something that just keeps hanging over you just because you did it, that you want to continue to do it. Sometimes you even have to put the stop on things. Says, look, I did it this time. You're on your own after this. Being able to give that proviso. Sometimes people hear the proviso and will not take heed. They'll come back. Then it talks about purpose, your desire to do what you want to do for others, and it says and what you want versus what they may need. What you want as much as you can do, that's reasonable. Okay. And then finally, it might be the wish itself. What do you wish for someone else is your intention. Sometimes you have to stay right along the line of, being mediocre on it. I intend to do something. I don't mean going overboard. I don't mean going down to where I gave them $1. I think those of you who know me know my little story about my mother. My mother would be so funny because she only gave between $1 and $5 to people. So even when I got married, she only gave $200, and so everybody said, "Oh, Miss Nellie, you did such a great job." She said, "That was Sandra. Sandra just saved up for it. That wasn't me. That was her. So don't give me the credit. It wasn't me." She said, "I got a set amount that I'm giving to her." So therefore, my mother she gave to me, but she only made it flat amount. So she had an intention, an intended amount of what she was going to do. That's all she did, And then for birthdays and Christmas and all that, my daughter never got more than $5. That was it. And she was real little, so $5 was a big deal. But other people it was $1. So I felt actually that she expanded her ability to give. When we move on in the word of give, my V is for what value you place on yourself and who you're giving to or what you're giving to. If it's an agency, what value do you place in it? If it's a person, what value do you place? And even in yourself in giving, without trying to exalt you in any way, but just saying that you want to do something. You can't do everything because the agency needs, $150,000 to stay afloat. You have $100. That's all you have. That's all you have. Because I don't believe that we should go in debt to, this is just me now. And when I was younger, I did it. I wanted everybody to have something from Sandy, everybody. But as I got older and realized that if I gave them what they needed and what I could afford, the alignment was better. But if I gave them what they needed and I couldn't afford it, then that meant I gave to excess, which is how I opened up the session. When we give in excess, we give beyond our means, we give beyond our ability. So I say for value, it says to regard that something is held to deserve, to be deserved. It has importance, worth, usefulness of something. It says it has merit and worth for us. It says there's practicality to it. When we think about the things that we've done, how practical is it that we addressed it? Sometimes we don't address things as practical as we should. And sometimes people deal with this on our heart level and not our head, and we can't deal with it in our head because our heart is bigger in terms of the desire for others to be happy, comfortable, content, loved, cared for. So that's why we do those kinds of things. But it says also the value is what profit is gained. Sometimes you have to understand that when you give something, somebody receives something. Do they see it as profit or they just see it as temporary gain? Sometimes it is just temporary, and they'll be back. They'll be back. It also talks about being, is it good? Is it serviceable? Does it help or does it hinder? Does it help or does it hinder? Because Christmas time is that time of year that everybody, I believe, should have a little something. It doesn't have to be major or anything. But I'm not going to give to the point where it's hindered my bank account or my debt that I owe come January. I just don't do that anymore. Used to. I'm human. I wanted to be like, not quite like the Joneses, but maybe the Johnsons. I wanted to be, just there at that time. So value also talks about the assistance that is given, the efficacy of it. Is it ethical? The availability of what you're giving and who it's going to. And then it talks about the significance of it. Is it significant enough for you and them? Because sometimes people will scam you. I've used that word before. They'll scam you, not knowing that, you're giving from their heart and they're feeding into the heart, and it never moves to your head that, wait a minute, I already gave you money. I already did this for you. I already did that for you. But sometimes it just never materializes like that. When we move on to our last letter in our word, it's earn. Who earns the money that you've utilized to give somebody something? It was you. And who earns the other end of that money? So that means at some point in time, you have to decide, what I'm taking away here, is it deserving over there? Did they earn it? And I don't mean earn it in terms of working for it, but earning in terms of it met your need through your heart and maybe even your head, that it should be done, that you need to give somebody something. Because one, you believe in them, it's a form of encouragement. It may be something of comfort. It may be something of contentment, but you're looking at it differently. So to earn is to receive as a return for an effort. That's what it is. It says, and especially for work done or services rendered. Sometimes we give to people they've never done any service, ever done any work for us. But we'd like to believe that if they were up on their feet, they would. And in some instances, that's true. That is very true. So earn is something that is acquired. It's something that you bring in. It's something that is collected in thought and collected in reality of what is being done. It's something that's derived. You feel it. It's drawn you in. It's a gain for you. It may eventually be a gain for them because you're able to give, but it's something that is obtained. It also says something that could be a pickup or a pick me up, meaning you've picked somebody else up, but just by your ability to be able to do something. It says it's something that is received. To earn something also says that someone's acknowledged something, and maybe someone has done something for you or someone else in the interest of just giving, just plain old give, making it simple, not adding anything to it, just giving it. And it's a win. It says it's a win. When something is earned, it's a win for whoever you gave it to, even if they don't see it as that, and for yourself. Remember, I talked about those endorphins. There it is. You feel good. It's a feel-good moment. And it says that generally you are picked up when you're able to do something for someone who maybe didn't ask for it, who never told you their need, who never told you their desire, who never told you anything, but it's just done. And that is considered to be a beautiful thing. And it says something that's attained. If it's inside you and you've reached whatever it is that you wanted to reach, and that's where it is. Um, let's see, enthusiastic. Yes, accept. That's right. Being enthusiastic is wonderful, and acceptance. Enthusiastic on your part, and acceptance and gratefulness, as you even said earlier, Ardelia, is perfect. When we look at our lives, we're only here for a short time. I think we probably think we're here forever when we're young. But as we approach middle age and older age, we look at life differently, and we see it as a way of good, could be bad, and then what's in the middle. And I look at my ability sometimes to want to help people as the goodness of God, the fact that He gave that to me, the fact that I can do something and it doesn't deplete me, it doesn't destroy me, it just makes me happy. It makes me content. And to me, I earn an enlarged heart. They may earn whatever it is that I gave them. Okay, that's how I look at it. And hopefully it is enthusiastic that we're willing to give, and the acceptance, hopefully on the other side, is one that they accept with good intention and appreciation and gratefulness and loving kindness. And I always tell people when I give them something is to pass it on. Pass it on. If we pass on things that have been done to us in the goodness of our heart, to me, that's joy. Regardless of what's going on in the White House and the outhouse, or or upstairs in His house. He gave us that opportunity to do something. And when we're able to do it, just do it. Just do it. Just have fun with it. Listen, this was fun today. I enjoyed you guys. If y'all want to hear that poem, I want to read this poem again before we go, because I love it. I just think it's just a wonderful poem by Frank Sonnenberg online. And it says, "The gift of giving." It says, "Give without love, not obligation. Give when it's least expected. Give without strings attached. Give from your heart. Give of yourself. Give to show that you care. Give help without causing helplessness. Give something that takes personal sacrifice. Give to make a difference. Give without keeping score. Give for no reason at all. Give a little if you can't give a lot. Give without attracting attention to yourself. Give without being asked. Give of your experience. Give to those who need it most." Thank you, Frank. I think that's really good. Listen, this is today's session. I hope you enjoyed it. I appreciate you stopping in this little, 36 minutes with me. I appreciate you so much. And if you can't do anything else, just hit share. You don't even have to send no money. I know I got it out there that you can send a dime, but you don't have to send a dime. You don't. All you have to do is continue to, tune in here with me, love up on me when you see my little posts. I appreciate that. I appreciate all the hearts that I see. I'm just okay. I'm okay. And I'm gonna keep giving like I do every Monday, Wednesday, Friday to you all who will come and view the video and participate if you want to. And it's so appreciated of me. I appreciate it so much. The other thing is Friday. I don't know if I'm able to be here on Friday because I have a big event I'm really excited about. I'm doing a gig for a local business for their Christmas party, and I have a trio that's playing for me. We're going to do a jazzy Christmas. So it's Dr. Winnie and the trio. I have an upright bassman, I have a keyboardist, and I have a drummer. And I have the best of all three of those. So I'm real excited. So Friday we may be rehearsing. So if I write a note, just say, "I'll see you on Monday." Okay? I'll be back on Monday. I love you guys. I appreciate you so much. And see you soon. Thank you. Bye-bye. Have a great week.